Hey, how's it going, everybody? Rainy day here in the city of Detroit. Great 4th of July. Power was out, but it's restored this morning. Thank goodness. I wanted to talk a little bit more about the idea of becoming your own bank. In the last video, I talked about the idea if you're middle class, maybe you have a trade school certificate, bachelor's degree, master's degree, whatever the case may be. You've been working your professional job, carpenter, plumber, wherever you might be, designer, engineer, architect, for 5 to 10 years. And you've been maxing out your 401k. You've been putting a certain amount in there, you haven't touched it. And now you're thinking about doing something different. The first thing is to remember is 90% of all people just want to go to work. They want their check. They want their paycheck every 2 weeks. They don't want to think about anything. It's automatic. If I come to work, I'm a good boy. I get my check every 2 weeks. But there's a small number of us who want to do more. And for us, becoming your own bank might just be the thing. So I get a lot of my ideas from just looking around at other communities, immigrant communities, Chinese communities. In Michigan, we have a very rich and large Arabic community. And I ask myself, how do they make it work? And maybe in my community, which you know the history of Black Americans, African Americans, with Jim Crow and before that slavery, how can we mimic what they do now? Now, if you know a little bit about Black American history, you know we actually did that during Jim Crow. We built our own Black Wall Street. We had our own private sectors. We had our own rich communities. But because of the terrorism back then, it was all mostly wiped out, or they built freeways right through our communities. Now, that was the past. Let's talk about today. Living in America, having the opportunities that we are afforded, there is almost no excuse if you can make it to middle class. I know it's harder for people who are truly poor, like I grew up, but once I became of age, I went to the Army, then got trade school certificates, then later went to college. Once you do that, how can you move so you could be self-sufficient or financially independent? Or how can you be the sacrificial lamb for your family so that in the future they are financially independent? Well, one way is to become the bank. Become your own bank. So there's a line in the book, The Richest Man of Babylon, where they say, I'm paraphrasing, turn your coin or your money into workers. Turn your coin or money into workers. Something like that, right? Paraphrase. Now let's think about our 401ks. Now, for the 90% of people who have 401ks, who are middle class, who have 401ks, because again, remember, the easiest way to become rich or wealthy or financially independent is to first to become middle class. You got a 401k. You've been working for 5 to 10 years. You stacked up some bread in there. Let's say 50,000. Let's keep a modest amount of money. 5 to 10 years, 50K in your 401k. You always wanted to buy a van, start a trucking business, whatever it may be. You're a plumber, a carpenter, custom motorcycle builder. You want to buy a building, but you can't get the seed money. You can't get the loan. If you become the bank, you can borrow the money from yourself, and you won't pay the penalties if you borrow the money over time. You can spread that loan amount, the payment amount, out over time. So again, now you are the bank. If you're anywhere from 25 to 35, you've been working 5 to 10 years, you stacked up $50,000 to $100,000, you are the bank. Again, this is only for 1 to 10% of us out here who want to do more. The other 90%, let them go to work, get your check every 2 weeks, save up in their 401k, retire at 65 or 70, and in 5 years, the government is so happy because they never got to spend all that money anyway. So their SSI, Social Security, they don't collect it all. They just go away. But if you're thinking about building financial independence for your family, you might think about becoming the bank. Again, it's a small number of us who want to do this. But if you're interested in starting a business, but you're having problems getting loans, become the bank. Anyway, car designer Chris, also the owner of Detroit Spaceships. Talk to you guys soon.